Hello there. Today we have another Star Wars thing. I'm trying not to be too heavy on Star Wars exclusively, but it just happens to be something that I'm kind of on a kick for lately. I had originally intended for my toy room to be, everything, 80s, 90s, a couple of pieces from each line that I grew up playing with, or either a couple of things that I always wanted, or um, and that sort of evolved into, well, a couple of things that I always wanted, but also maybe a couple of things that I had and loved. And then depending on, how I feel when I get some of those pieces, I see that I want more of them. Like say Mask, originally I had just Rhino and Thunderhawk, which were two pieces I never had and always wanted. But as I collect more and I look more, I realize, well, why don't we just get the whole first and second waves of Mask? Things like that. Or, I have a Robin Hood and a Sheriff of Nottingham from the Prince of Thieves toy line, and I think, well, for $8 average for each of the, whatever it is, 8 or 9 figures in that toy line, might as well just get them all, So, and that's sort of the mentality that I have for Star Wars lately is, well, I had the Imperial Shuttle was the piece that I always wanted and never had. And I got that, and then recently, at a toy show, I got the Jabba the Hutt playset from Return of the Jedi with a box. And that imagery of the box art, which for Star Wars was always the actual toy surrounded by, action figures, particularly for the Return of the Jedi toy line, which was really my experience growing up. I was too young to remember. Well, I wasn't born for A New Hope, and then I was much too young for Empire Strikes Back. So when Return of the Jedi came out, I was about 3 or 4, and so that is some of my core memories are those Return of the Jedi packaging, and seeing the action figures on the toy boxes. And so that sort of started my fascination again with Star Wars, and deciding that I want to collect, one of every one of the original figures from 77 to 85, and loose, incomplete at first, and we'll pick up accessories as we go, because they're much more expensive. But anyway, that's a long way to say that tonight we are opening another one of those core Return of the Jedi memories, from very early on. This toy is so sort of essential to my childhood that I don't actually remember getting it. It was just always there, and it comes with the box as well. So let's take a look here. See if I can manage to remember not to put the side of the box that has my address on it towards you. So let's see. Upside down. There we go. So let's see if we can also manage not to bump into the camera too much. So let's get right in there. I won't bother shaking this because A, it's packed very firmly, and B, it doesn't really sound like anything. Okay. I can see things falling out of the box. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I was afraid that these things falling out of the box were some sort of decals. No, it's shredded newspaper, so it's... Why wouldn't it be? Okay, that's awesome. That's not going to be ideal. Oh, jeez. God, I hope this, the contents are in some kind of bag. This is a nightmare. This thing's full of these. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Why? Just kill me here, man. Look at this. Oh, jeez. The joy of unboxing. You get to experience this alongside me. Okay. I am going to try to open this box on my lap and not get too much of this stuff dumped all over the floor. Okay, at least, yeah. Fortunately, the contents are in a bag on their own. See. Oh, jeez. Have to get out the broom. Is there anything else in here? Honestly, who stuffs a whole box full of this stuff? I don't know which is worse, this or when somebody stuffs it full of those little tiny dots of styrofoam. Like not even packing peanuts, but you know, literally tiny little dots that are like this big, and they go everywhere. And it's static, just kills you. Okay, cool. So, if you had this going, you might already know what we're looking at. Oh boy. 20 cents. How about that? I wish. I wish. Makes me wonder how old that is. I hope it's old. I hope somebody didn't just buy this for 20 cents recently. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Look at those haircuts. This is the Jabba the Hutt Play-Doh playset. Oh, wow. I remember, and I've been waiting to open this for a few days now until I had some time to really devote to it. You know, we'll do the talking video now where I can enjoy those memories, but we will also have a video with no talking where we play, where we play with the Play-Doh set. I don't know if that will produce any satisfying noises or if it'll be relatively quiet, but we'll see. We're going to recreate Star Wars scenes with Play-Doh. This little face, that really does it for me too. The old Play-Doh logo. That's awesome. And I love the Return of the Jedi logo, that red on black. It's just something I remember from being very young. Okay, so look out there. Here we can see Gluck and Squid Head and Salacious Crumb. Squid Head, of course, we know his name Tessa. And he is a corn from Mon Calamari. There we go, Jabba. For you serious fans, you know that's Jabba the Hutt to your, it's his whole name. So let's get into this thing. Okay. This is, there are actually two, somehow or another. This is essentially two kits in one box for the most part. So, yeah, this gift, wow. It's funny, this is one of the parts of this kit that I had the longest as a child. I didn't always have a stockpile of Play-Doh, so I had the pieces of this kit, but I didn't always have Play-Doh to play with it. But these skiffs, you know, why not just use them with your own figures? And so these hung around for quite a while. Not actually sure if these pegs will fit a regular figure or not. Let's see here. You have to bear with me. I know our Imperial Commander isn't supposed to be riding around on a skiff, but he does fit pretty well. I don't want to jam him on there too much, but that's actually pretty cool. Okay. I would venture a guess that it does not work well with G.I. Joes, which I also played with quite a bit. Yeah, well, yeah, you got the little, I wish that had been retractable. It was always kind of an eyesore that it hung off the side. Let's see what it says there. Looks like made in Ohio. Well, sorry, no. I think that's the copyright information. I don't think it's actually saying it's produced in Ohio. That's just where Kenner was based. Cool. Let's see what else we got in here. You can actually see, because you would put, you know, you're going to mold your Play-Doh inside and make it flat. And so looking at this way, we can see that is Luke and Tessic, or Squid Head properly. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's the, of course, it's the Kenner and the Lucasfilm license, but yeah, it's interesting. I wonder, well, I mean, this is branded Kenner. I wondered if Play-Doh made this or if Kenner made this. That would be interesting trivia, and I don't know the answer. Okay. Very cool. And I think I actually have, yeah, I have two of each of these molds. Oh, they do stack. That's handy. Okay. Very cool. You can see they also have little dots. So you can see little holes in their faces and in their toes, which would be, these are some of the deepest parts of the mold, I guess, and would help release that Play-Doh. So what else we've got in here? There we go. We have a Gamorrean guard, or a pig guard. I think they were always called Gamorrean guards, even when we were kids. But pig guards was also a pretty common way to refer to them. And of course you have Leia's Bausch there, the Ubisian bounty hunter. And you have the Gamorrean guard's axe, and a random sort of Jabba's palace blaster there, which neither one of them would be using. But of course, you could give that to Squidhead over there, or Luke when he steals it out of the holster of one of Jabba's minions. There we go. Oh, there's a number on there. Interesting. Yeah, and again, there's two of these. And I will get some Play-Doh. I do want to play with this set. And because I'm an adult now, I can buy my own Play-Doh, and I can mix and match the colors, and not get yelled at for making a mess and ruining my Play-Doh. Oh, there he is, yeah. That is Jabba and Salacious. I totally remember making this mold. I think this might have been one of the molds I had for the longest time as a kid, and could still make whenever I happened to end up with Play-Doh, which was not frequently. I think I lost most of the other ones pretty quickly. I say quickly, there might have been years, but still. Jabba was one of the ones I had for the longest time. You can see the detail in there for Salacious Chrome. If we look in here, you can see even the turn back of Jabba's tail there. You can see Salacious Chrome. Cool. Salacious, as we know, is a Kowakian lizard monkey. Everybody knows that. Let's see where else we got here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, two of those. Alright, and the last one, I remember what this is. There we go, yeah. Bib Fortuna and Han Solo in a block of carbonite. Bib Fortuna is, of course, a Twi'lek, which is taking me quite a bit of getting used to pronouncing that way. I spent somewhere around 35 years calling them Twi'leks until we started to hear it pronounced in Clone Wars or Rebels. So in my head, I'm sorry, it's always going to be Twi'lek. Yeah. And you've got Han Solo there in his carbonite block. Oh yeah, he does have it. Well, he has his arms crossed. He doesn't have his hands up, frozen in terror, and for some reason they froze him with his blaster holster, which is not correct, but nice attention to detail. He is frozen with the bicep cuffs that you see him frozen with in Empire Strikes Back, which he mysteriously does not have when he's released from carbonite. You actually don't see these on the carbonite block. But to be fair, I don't think you see his biceps really at all on the face of it. Here we're seeing quite a bit more of his figure than we do in the actual carbon block from the prop. Yeah, the Fortuna looks good too there. Alright. I have two of those, yeah. Oh, that one's kind of gross. Yeah, some kind of, definitely has some fuzzies on them. Alright. I wonder what that is. I don't really want to touch it. I'll clean that up another time. Alright. We're going to go through this in just a moment because I'm dying to know what's in there. But I figure while we have space. I think that's, oh, of course, no. I love that we have this. We have the wood block still with some Play-Doh on it. That's awesome. Put this box up here. I love that. I love the sound of wood blocks. Probably one of my, and Bob Ross obviously is a big part of my, growing up. We didn't have the term ASMR. I didn't know what that was until a handful of years ago. But growing up, Bob Ross just produced that sort of that calm and tingly sensation of listening to someone calmly do something and hearing the sound of the brush hitting. But what I really think was one of my first experiences realizing that I liked the sound was Mr. Rogers, and the sounds that you would hear in his kitchen, particularly when he would open and close his cabinets or would show you stuff. He would have things in the house, and definitely remember him playing with some kind of bricks, or, like wood bricks, wood blocks, and the sound that made, and I just loved it. There we go. So I have that as our little dowel, and then we have this. Wow, that's a really good shot. Wow. Some vinyl. Wow, that's really good. Starting to suspect that the kid didn't really play with this very much. Whoever it was that opened it. It's scaled pretty well for Jabba. Yeah, about that size. Okay. That's cool. So let's take a look here. Is this unique to Star Wars? No, it's not. Okay. Oh, wow. Just having this booklet is really cool. As a kid, you grow up seeing images like these where, somebody's been allowed to mix their colors. And as a kid, certainly me, I wouldn't have done that because you're going to mess it up and you're going to ruin your Play-Doh. It's going to be all brown and gray and weird. And you're probably not going to get any more. I would be very envious of any kid who was able to just get more Play-Doh whenever they wanted. Okay, so this is something we have in our future, is the Play-Doh Fun Factory. We are absolutely going to get one of these and have some fun with it. I remember sliding the little extruder plate, I guess, for lack of a better word, along it, and then you push the Play-Doh through the back end here, and it would come through here in these various holes and shapes. That was a lot of fun. That's cool. I didn't have any other play sets that I can remember. I didn't have this. Oh, wow. Strawberry shortcake. She was definitely a toy line I was aware of course, in the 80s, but I don't have a sister. I don't have, I didn't have any female cousins who would have had strawberry shortcake, and we weren't growing up in the 80s. You know, we were pretty gender specific. Traditional toys with traditional genders. So I just didn't have a lot of strawberry shortcake stuff hanging around. And the girls that I grew up with in our neighborhood were older, so they weren't really into strawberry shortcake. Because My Little Pony, honestly, was their thing. And I think I was babysat by someone once who had a decent collection of strawberry shortcake stuff, and so that was really my only experience with it. So what we got here? Can you see that? Fun figures, travel fun, and breakfast fun. Wow. Yeah, I don't remember these at all. Again, these just weren't sets that I had. Oh, interesting. Care Bears. I did have the, is it Good Luck Bear? I'm not sure. The little green one. This would have been a set that was very tempting to mix your colors. I wonder. Okay, interesting. I think that looks like you would make your bear, but you would make their stomach emblem separately. That's a good idea. Or you could just crank out bears. They didn't need to make, a dozen bear molds. You could just, that's very clever. Yeah, the imagery of the Care Bears does take me back. Didn't have much. I wasn't really surrounded by it, but yeah, I do remember them. Rainbow Bright is probably the one of the, again, traditional girl toys that has the most memory that I would associate with. I never had one, but I always wanted one. And it was one of those toys I try to describe, particularly when you're little, you're just, you want to put a toy in your mouth because you think that it's colorful. Maybe you think it's going to taste good. Rainbow Bright was one of those toys. That doll was just so colorful. I wanted to eat it, if that makes sense. I would say it was the same with, on Sesame Street, Bert's soda pop top collection. The caps for the soda bottles, they were so colorful. And the same with the Count's organ. He had all of the, the different buttons and pulls on his organ, and they were very colorful. And those are some of my memories of random things that you can't eat that, but for some reason I wanted to. I was aware I couldn't eat it. Don't get me wrong, I knew better. It was just something about it. Bugadoos. Rainbow rings. None of these are ringing a bell for me. They don't. I don't remember them at all. I played with Play-Doh, but not a ton. Colorworks extruder. I don't remember that. Now I'm like, oh, this looks familiar. Okay, of course. Let's see. What's that say? Kids can recreate their own new Star Wars movie with the Jabba the Hutt playset. Make 8 characters. A playmat with a totally new scene from the movie. I mean, I guess it's totally new because it wasn't in a previous movie. But then that's the Jabba the Hutt castle. A great new vehicle from the movie in which the characters can ride. It's funny they don't actually call it a skiff. It's just a mysterious vehicle. Yeah, that logo, that's cool. Oh, I love it. Alright, well, let's put this away. And I'm not going to talk for this point. Thanks for joining me.